Alright, big shout out to Catapult, the American Friends of Jamaica, Kingston Creative, and Fresh Milk Barbados for making this a reality.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Shemar Marshall, and today we're with Emma.
Everything good?
Yes, we're going to be talking about over and over. So first and first, let's check this video out. 3, 2.
Say every day that me wake up, I know that the grace is sufficient, yeah. Every day that me wake up, I know that the grace is sufficient, yeah. Over and over, my cup runneth over. In the midst of me enemies. Over and over, my cup runneth over. In the midst of me enemies. Over and over, my cup runneth over, yeah, yeah, yeah. In the midst of me enemies. Over and over, my cup runneth over, yeah. In the midst of me enemies. Open your heaven to me, Lord, yeah. Open your heaven to me, Lord, yeah. Say open your heaven to me, Lord, yeah. Open your heaven to me, Lord, yeah. You only, 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 you only. My cup runneth over, yeah. Say over and over, my cup runneth over, yeah. Say over and over, my cup runneth over, yeah. Say over and over, my cup runneth over, yeah. Open your heaven to me, Lord, yeah. Say open your heaven to me, Lord, yeah. Open your heaven to me, Lord, yeah. Open your heaven to me, Lord, yeah.
Alright, that was beautiful song. So, to start things off, vision. What was the vision behind Over and Over?
Well, Over and Over, surprisingly, it wasn't just like my idea. Yeah. Over and Over has a whole lot of different sections, from the visual creativity of the video to the concept behind the words of the song, and even the kind of impact that we have in the community. But overall, if you listen to the lyrics, it's over and over, my cup runneth over, yeah, in the midst of my enemies. And then, open your heaven to me, Lord, Father, hear my plea, yeah. And it's about determination, you know, especially from a perspective of people of African descent, you know. Yeah. I'm pretty sure without having to do with the DNA spit test or anything, people could clearly see that we have some sort of ancestors back in the motherland, and it was about merging that kind of African vibe, that earthy African vibe, with something that could really inspire our people, especially during a period like this with the pandemic and everything. And it's about growing and developing and expanding even when you're in a toxic environment, you know. Over and over, my cup runneth over, in the midst of my enemies. And it's all about also realizing that you alone can't make it happen. Like you have to depend on something else. You have to depend on God in order to make everything flow the way it's supposed to flow, which is like Open your heavens to me, Lord. Father, rescue me, yeah. Yeah, and that also kind of highlights the plight that a lot of us are in as we try to develop and move forward. We can't just do it on our own. But that's the basic concept, and it can really apply to a wide variety of people all across Ghana, all across the Caribbean region, because of the common history that we share. And it's a song that's built to motivate and to push us to the next level, you know? It's like an anthem, kind of.
So, you spoke a lot about community and so on. So, after acts, what was the team? Who
the team
together?
That team was a pretty huge team. All right, let me start. I wrote the song. All of the words were my words.
Okay.
It's pretty simple words. It wasn't a lot of variation if you get what I mean. But the creative team, I had, of course, Alvin Brown. That's the guy that built the beat. At least the beat. I was listening to it online, and later I found out that he's actually produced beats for Popcorn.
Wow.
So that was interesting. I was like,
top notch.
Anyway, so that was the first thing. And after finding the beat, I wrote the lyrics to it, and then the guy who I'm pitching these ideas off is like the #1 producer in Ghana when it comes to being prolific.
I know that.
And that's AJ from AJ Records, right over the river. Alright, you know which part of over the river? I'll teach you another song today. This is what we used to do to learn the regions in Ghana, right? Region 1, Borima Waini. Region 2, Pangurun, Supana. Region 3, Essequibo Islands, West Demerara. So he's from Essequibo Islands, West Demerara, over the river. And he's actually in a community that historically was associated with sugar cultivation, with sugarcane cultivation, and that kind of stuff, and also with rice. So that entire area over there is a very agrocentric, or has been historically a more agrocentric community, and over the years they've been transforming into an even stronger economy and diversifying into other areas. So he's the guy that I bounced my music off of, and he said, yeah bro, this one resonated. This one resonated. Let me feeling it. Let me look at and see what we could do with this one, right? So once he did that, went to the studio, we made a song, and then we put it to rest. Right? So why we put it to rest is because we wanted to know if it was just like something we were just feeling in the moment, or if it was something that could really have perennial value, like value over time and everything like that. And we came back to it a couple of months later, I believe, and we realized, it's still banging. It's still hitting, it's still thinging. And what he said is, bro, we gotta shoot the video for this. We got some other songs that are out there. Let's see what happens, how we can get it done. And the first thing that I had to do was I had to create an image, like recreate my image, right? So, I don't know if I'm jumping the gun here.
No, it's okay.
Alright, so recreating the image, number one, I had to figure out what I would model myself after. So I got two image consultants, one from Trinidad, a very beautiful young lady from Trinidad. She was consulting me, you know. And then, and then the next one was, you matter what. Then I got the name, they got banner from Guyana, from a different part of Guyana that's into fashion, and he was able to help me to formulate how I should dress and all of that, because based on the conversation I had with another artist in Guyana, definitely one of the top artists in Guyana, Saigu, he told me, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, a while ago, that in order to resonate with people, you have to kind of reflect what they look like and be something that they would aspire to visually. So even though you're big headed doesn't mean you can't have style and swag, you know what I mean? So why do this? You know? So that's what we did there. And then the other thing I had to do was also to get my photos and stuff done. And I used another guy from the capital city, from Georgetown, and he actually gave me some advice on what works, what doesn't work, and all of that. And I even had to talk to my hairstylist, my barber, and he gave me a different cut. It's the first time I've ever rocked these kind of cuts, and it was all about being and creating an image that could resonate with the people right now. So I had them. My barber's John the barber, if you know, you know he. The next one, the photographer, that kind of helped me to rebuild the image visually. His name is Cleveland Bradford from Eclipse Photography. And this is just to show you, I'm not even complete with the entire team. but this is to show you the power and the interconnected nature of the creative industry. You know, if a government or if a company or people want to really impact the community, one of the greatest ways, especially if you want to target young people, which is all about human rights and all that too, is to hit them with culture, right? Invest smart into culture, because culture merges a whole lot of different industries. Many of them are cottage industries, and many of them spread across a wide range, a wide geographical plane, because you have to reach different people across your country in order to get what you really want to get. And it could be a tool for growth, development, and engagement. And that's where we're there. So once we're able to get the image right, the next thing was to find a videographer. And even though I do videos and I have some friends who do videos, I really wanted someone that could help me to elevate my brand to a brand new level, next level. Everything,
the whole team.
Everything, the whole team is a whole team. We come in with a different vibe, a different swing, you know. And fortunately, I was working along with this guy that was into film. He's currently in the US. Yafa Jackman. He's a Guyanese. He's into film. He does a lot of film stuff, and he had a competition targeting COVID, just like these agencies I mentioned earlier. He focused on doing a short film challenge, and that challenge was able to engage dozens of creatives across Guyana. Are we talking about people who write scripts, people who shoot videos, people who act, people who create props, people who create special lighting equipment and everything. And due to that competition, and even though I didn't place in the competition, I was able to observe and really sit back in awe and look at the kind of potential that Guyana and the Caribbean really has.
The talent.
And the talent, like the better talent and everything like that. And from that, I spotted one specific creative who submitted work. It wasn't in the top 3 based on what the judges were looking for, but his work was very distinctive, and I reached out to him. In my eyes, and culture is a very subjective thing. Film is a very subjective thing, but I saw that this guy had a unique perspective, and I wanted his perspective to kind of filter my creativity so that I could create a different vibe, a next level vibe, a next level appeal to the content that I wanted to create. And that's Director Dex, right? Big up to Dex and his whole crew.
True.
So we talked about the pictures, the video, the sound, and now the actors and over and over. Bro, I told Dex, all right, his initial vision for the video was a little different. He wanted to have a young boy who was drumming to show that, you know, he listened to the music and he wanted to join the team, and he'd eventually develop into a drummer, one of my drummers and stuff like that. But what we did as the time came closer, he found a young lady, Carrie Ann Webster, and Zoe, who's a dancer that choreographed the entire over and over dance. And these people, he tapped into a unique community, you know. Linden is the area where the videographer, where the actors and the dancers and everyone that was there, that's where they come from. And what's interesting about Linden is that it's kind of an ethnic enclave for people of African descent in Guyana, and that community is focused on like the extractive industry. They've been known over the years for bauxite and gold. Well, not Linden gold, but like generally within that region, they're known for bauxite primarily, but it's kind of a bridge for gold mining and everything, right? So yeah, there's some gold mining there too, but the entire thing is that community, apart from having rich natural resources, they also have rich human resources and a variety of human resources. In the midst of people farming, in the midst of people mining and everything like that, you have a guy who comes out with a camera and he's able to capture and create these visually stunning experiences with his camera. You have young ladies there that are gifted in dancing, and they don't just look at it as, you know, this is just me chilling and having fun, but they understand there's value in their creative power, and there's value in what they do, and they're willing to hone their skills in order for it to be even more valuable, you know. And even in the video, you see her falling and practicing and falling and practicing, and it's all about her highlighting different aspects of growth and development, and that's something that we were able to bring out with that. And I know you have another question coming up, but Jesus, 5 minutes already. Yeah. Anyway, y'all just take a break. Y'all bring y'all tea, put y'all cricks. No, what's the biscuit you look at today? Digestive, the Van digestive. Yeah, y'all take y'all biscuit and y'all tea and things sit down and we can for a little bit. But the other aspect I wanted to highlight was even her mother, Karen Webster. Yeah, she, without telling me, right? I told Dex I need some dances for the video or whatever, and her mom, Carrie Ann's mom, Karen Webster, decided to sew dresses for these children, for the dancers and the people who were collaborating with me on this.
Yeah.
And I didn't know about it beforehand. But the entire aspect and the entire thing that she had the foresight to really look in and say, you know what? We need a specific look for this specific project. Let's see how we can get it done. And you can even see one of the first dances had the colors for the Ghana flag there. And later on, they were able to merge more Afrocentric patterns into their dresses and everything. Everything was custom made for the video. When I went up and I saw that, I was in awe. Because these people are able, they have insight. They have insight, their interest, and they were engaged in the creative process. And no matter what sort of creative initiatives you have to look for people like this to work along with. Because you mightn't be able to see everything. But those people who understand their value and understand the value of their perspective are able to bring something that's different in the entire project. So that kind of touches on most of the aspects. And finally, one of the videographer, Director Dex, he brought along one of his colleagues, one of his family members to assist him in the production. And that kind of shows that the creative industry isn't just about having a nice video. There's a lot of things that go behind it, and there are a lot of different social constructs and social networks that work together to make content great. And that's just something else I wanted to highlight. So that's kind of the overall team. The overall team that kind of worked on this video.
And it so happens it came along with your rebranding at that same point.
Yeah, and another point is, don't let me regret.
Yeah.
So the reason why we also use Dex for this is because just before we shot Over and Over, we shot a video called Love You Bad. And you can actually check it out here.
Girl, you know me love you bad. Girl, you know me love you bad. Me say tell you the truth. Girl, I ain't no rapper. I just a banner from Guyana with the swagger. Marry you, now making a child mother. Give birth to the babies that call me dada. Me love you and there ain't no other. No other girl that I woulda rather. Feed you good so your body never maga. Yow, Emmy, Dandada. Te ama, I mean te amo. Me love you from you say me amo. Your style, your hair, your vibes. Break through the walls so you want some more, yo. Girl, you know me love you bad. Girl, you know me love you bad. I ain't never gone sad. Girl, you know me love you bad. Girl, you know me love you bad. I ain't never gone. Girl, you know me love you bad. Girl, you know me love you bad. I ain't never gone sad. Girl, you know me love you bad. Girl, you know me love you. Girl, I know you're grinding at the med school. Elevate your mind so nobody coulda make a fool. Tropical sunburn, but your love can never done. Chillin' at the beach till your study time it a reach. Open up word fi type up me proposal. Grammarly that so me get no refusal. Girl, you know me love you bad. Girl, you know me love you bad. I ain't never gone te ama, I mean te amo. Me love you from you say me amo. Your style, your hair, your vibes. Break through the walls, say you want some te amo. Girl, you know me love you bad. Girl, you know me love you bad. I ain't never gone sad. Girl, you know me love you bad. From London to Dubai to Boston to Shanghai, never seen a girl like you. You so sweet, plus you rock to the beat. Never meet a place and a number 2. Side chick thing me not interesting. Them thing them never interesting. I know that from the beginning. Me and you is a hashtag win, girl. Girl, you know me love you bad. Girl, you know me love you bad. I ain't never gone sad. Girl, you know me love you bad. Girl, you know me love you bad. Pause, take a break, take a breather. Rest for a bit and I'll be the leader. Looking at your eye cause emotions high. Heart me feel satisfied. lie, nah lie, let me be a lion king. Hold on to this cute like a diamond ring. Yeah, like you, not interest in fling. Yeah, love you long from blackberry ping.
From the end of my life, there's elevation. Playtime done, no separation. Girlfriend to wife, be preparation. Make me tell you the truth. Girl, you know me love you bad. I'm here. Jati and Marissa, Jerry, AJ Records, and that's such a thing set. I'm here.
Alright, so
Yeah.
Love You Bad was kind of the prototype for us collaborating with each other, and we were able to work along with another amazing talent, Rihanna, and
The Rihanna.
the Rihanna, you know, yeah.
Yeah.
So and then we shot that video, Love You Bad, and the talent that you see there, her name is Rihanna, and the Rihanna, of course, or Rihanna,
Yeah.
and she was really able to bring a lot of creative energy to the project, and that video being as successful as it was, kind of set the platform for us to get into Over and Over together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've seen a lot of beautiful colors, a lot of stuff going on
Yeah.
in the video. So to start things off, where was it taken? Like
So that was shot primarily in Linden.
Linden.
And we shot it at using, I think it was 2 different sets. One was at the home, and another one was at the basketball court within the community, like a community open space or a playground.
Okay.
And we were able to really capture the gist of what we wanted to capture in those 2 locations.
So I'm hearing you mention community a lot. So I'm
Yeah.
about to ask you how impactful it was when you were doing the video,
Yeah.
and how did it impact the community and stuff?
Well, during COVID, during coronavirus, this entire pandemic season in Ghana, a lot of persons had to change the way that they were living. A lot of persons who might have been suffering with depression or like anxiety and that kind of stuff, this wasn't a very good period for them. Looking at it from a therapeutic perspective, because they couldn't really depend on communicating with persons as they would normally communicate.
Yeah.
Apart from having the masks and everything, you also had like curfews and everything when it came to putting up barriers between persons.
Yeah.
And immediately with a project like this, you were kind of able to bring some hope to these areas, you know, and you were able to give them activities that they were able to enjoy while they were still separate.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that was one of the biggest impacts with it. The other impact that we did with this video is that we were able, or the other thing that impacted the community with this video is that it kind of led us into doing another video.
Right now, this is a gospel with a difference. All Christian dancers, if you need your breakthrough right now, I said to dance, come to the front. Praise God in a different style.
King David, watch your boy with the David dance. King David, Christian there with the David dance. Hey. King David, watch your boy with the David dance. King David, Christian there with the David dance. Hey. Worship without limits, mad out pouring on me love. Grateful for the goodness of the Father up above. Yeah. Mama need a breakthrough, Papa need a breakthrough. Me need a breakthrough. I need a breakthrough. King David, watch your boy with the David dance. King David, Christian there with the David dance. Hey. King David, watch your boy with the David dance. King David, Christian there with the David dance. Hey. Months and months they waiting, begging for anointing, repent and forgiving, praying plus the fasting. Mama need a breakthrough. Papa need a breakthrough. Pick me need a breakthrough. I'm a need a breakthrough. King David, watch your boy with the David dance. King David, Christian there with the David dance. Hey. King David, watch your come me. The eye got me praising. Say no more stressing. Cause of Jesus blessing. Mama need a breakthrough. Papa need a breakthrough. Big knee need a breakthrough. I man need a breakthrough. King David. Watch your boy with the David dance. King David. Christian the with the David dance. Hey. King David. Watch your boy with the David dance. King David. Christian the with the David dance. Hey. Watch your boy with the David. David. Watch your boy with the David. Watch your boy with the David dance. Praises. Watch your boy with the David. Say hallelujah. Say hallelujah. Say hallelujah. Say hallelujah. Highest praises. Highest praises. Highest praises. Highest praises. Your breakthrough is coming. 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 Your breakthrough is coming.
So this entire thing was like a prototyping experience for us. We were able to experiment with different styles and different perspectives in order for us to tell the stories in these songs. And the more we collaborated is the better we were able to kind of penetrate the community and engage more members within that community. And especially in the time where there was a great degree of instability, we were kind of able to bring hope to that community. And as a part of the human rights, like not even human rights, but as a part of our mandate as being trying to work together to bring dignity to people across the country and across the world, it's important for us to show people that we respect them and that they have value and all of that. And I think that this project was able to bring some sort of that element to that community. And in one of the other projects, people were actually looking at us. People came out to their homes, they stopped their vehicles, pull over and all of that. People ride up on bicycles and everything, and they were looking while we were shooting other videos. And you could see that there was a sense of pride and excitement within the people, especially because of the heartbeat of that community was kind of low down because of everything that was going on, from the pandemic to the quarantines and everything like that.
So, I mean, it's a lot you've been giving us so far.
Bro.
But, I mean, the culture, we have to talk much about the culture. So what was the culture going into Linden?
The culture, so Linden has a feeling of home. And I'm pretty sure we took you a lot, like if you look back at that video, I don't know he's talking like it wasn't in the video, but like you could actually see him in the video too. But Linden, the people greet you like home. Like in some of them islands,
like you're part of it.
Yeah, like you're part of a family kind of, you know? And that's something I noticed even when I was small. I had an affinity for that community because I would hear stories that in Linden, as you go up these hills, you'd find these springs. So every time I'd go to Linden, I'd look in the canals and in the gutters and stuff, and I'd be like, hey, look how clear their water is. You know, because there was this kind of mystical fantasy kind of association with Linden, the place where there's mine and they have these fountains coming out everywhere. You could just go up the rocks and drink water, and then they got this blue lake. You could actually see snippets of that blue lake in the Love You Bad video, and it's one of the only areas in Ghana with these blue natural bodies of water and stuff. But that was the kind of feeling behind it.
Nice. So, I mean, we talk a lot about the team and so on, but let's go back to Over and Over. The lyrics, Over and Over. What is this? What is supposed to speak to me about? Like,
but actually, let me ask you, what did you feel when you heard the song?
Well, when I heard this song Over and Over, I was so inspired to move above, right? And as I move above of what I would normally do, I was like, no, Shemar, you got to push more, because it's over and over again. Things are happening, but I'm climbing. Climbing, and especially that part in the midst of it.
So let me just interject there for a second. So you'll figure out, especially if you're of African descent, like as you grow and you ascend and you become more professional, as you grow in prestige, and as you try to elevate yourself, you'll find that some people around you might no longer be there to support you as you would want. But that's natural. Like as you start to move up, there's a tendency for people to become more conflict oriented, and sometimes they're not even conscious that what they're doing might not be working towards your advancement. But what I like to do with my music and even in these projects is to view the collaborators and the person within the industry as persons who are working together as kind of partners in this entire creative and professional process. Because in the Caribbean, all across the Caribbean, we as creators need to look at ourselves as collaborators rather than competitors, because the world is a large place. So the world loves Caribbean culture, and there is space at the top for more than one of us, or more than a small group of us. So working together, it kind of helps us to sharpen our skills and our talents and our abilities, and it helps us to really stand out as not only one country or one person or one artist, but as an entire region. So I think that that crab in the bar mentality is something that we should throw that away. Let's kick it. Just kick to it, dash it away, and focus more on being more collaborative.
So you could come
so
together.
We can work together, benefit from synergies and make things happen.
So, I mean, we're talking a lot about community, culture, and so on. So it's merging of everyone. You've become a spider web.
Yeah.
So becoming a spider web, I mean, did everyone link together, like connect, like song art?
So this project was a very collaborative, heavy project. It was very interconnected and interdependent, and that was kind of intentional because we wanted to see how much value we could create with this song and how much we'd be able to bring people together. Even though, of course, there were restrictions for us collaborating, we tried to kind of merge everyone, as many persons together as possible, to get the most value out of it. And if you look at that video, clearly it's not just one perspective that you're seeing there. You're able to tap into different elements here that kind of stand out. So there's a scene right at the beginning where this girl is Carrie-Ann, is eating out of a butter bowl. She's eating Crick's biscuit out of a golden cream butter bowl, right? If you're in the Caribbean, you got no Crick's. You got no Crick's, and you got to know what's a butter bowl, and you got to know what's golden cream and everything, right? And that's actually a sign that was used to highlight the inequality of people across the region, In the Caribbean, as much as we try to push and develop, there's still a lot of work that we have to do to elevate people out of poverty. And there's also a lot of work we have to do to ensure that every person, every human across the region has food, something to eat. We have to ensure those are basic human rights that we have to focus on. And that's something that I thought that really needed to be highlighted. And Dex actually put that in there. And when I saw it, I was like, this is brilliant, because it kind of mind blown, because that taps into one of the more primal, one of the more essential elements of human rights, and that's something that I just wanted to bring some attention to. And it's not even a case where I'm saying that what she was doing was how she could be eaten out of a butter bowl. It's not about that. It's about understanding that everybody across the region might not be at the same level. The struggle is real. The struggle is real across the region, and rather than look down on each other, we need to understand that we each bring value and we each have a place, So even though there might be economic inequality, we need to work towards ensuring that poverty is eradicated and hunger is eradicated across Guyana, across Jamaica, across Barbados, across Trinidad, and across the entire region.
So from my perspective, when I was watching the video, it seemed like you were giving the girl an opportunity.
Yeah. So I'm listening.
No, I was gonna ask now, what actually developed that type of mindset to give people opportunity?
So that is another symbolic. It was there. It might seem like he gave her an invitation to be a part of it, but that was kind of a symbolic statement to show that if you work hard, if you work hard and you stay committed, even when you fall down, you get back up and continue practicing, and you're able to increase your skill level and become more valuable, people will see the kind of value that you're bringing to the table, and if you will get an opportunity. Once you present yourself and once you practice, you will get opportunities, and your job, just like how I took the opportunity to sign up on this application and apply, you'll be granted different opportunities, and your eyes have to be open, you have to be alert, and you have to be aggressive with capitalizing on these opportunities and using them to develop yourself and develop your community. And you can see in that video, she wasn't the only one who was granted that opportunity, you know. It was that entire group of young ladies who had shown their commitment and their focus on becoming better artists, you know,
and also
in the video.
Within the video, that also being outside.
And that was symbolic also. Like once you work hard, it's not just you're going to benefit, like your entire community is going to benefit, and you're never alone. So there are a lot of symbolic elements that this video was able to capture, and once you're able to read into these different things, you'll see that there's a lot of value that you can really tap into. So as I was saying, like it's about ensuring that once you work hard, your job as a young person, as a young creative, is to keep on producing and keep on refining and honing your skill, because certain opportunities will present themselves, and it's on to you to capitalize on them and to make them work for your benefit.
How did you really come up with this concept of over and over?
I was just sitting in my room, looking at the clouds. I have a window. Just
one of those
days. Just one of those days.
And something come silent from above.
Yeah, so I was just thinking about it, and I was like, over and over, my cup run it over, yeah. And I thought about it. And the thing is that I wanted to, when I heard the beat and stuff, I heard something from it. So for example, when I make music, I kind of tap into, I listen for what the music wants. What the music, like I kind of feel out the music. Sometimes certain beats, for example, AJ a couple weeks ago, he showed me a beat that he made, and instead of me just having a bank of lyrics, I do have a bank of lyrics that I could tap into, but it was more about listening to the music and feeling what it was asking for, you know, and or seeing what could have blended well with it, and that's what I did with this. And what I heard from that was a motivational song that could resonate with people. Over and over, my cup run it over, in the midst of enemies.
And given that, you also raised it on Emancipation Day.
Emancipation Day.
Why Emancipation?
Because on Emancipation Day, especially this Emancipation Day, so there's an organization called ACDA, the African Cultural Development Association in Guyana, and every year they kind of celebrate the African heritage, and it's something that they do, as I said, like every year they hold those events. And this year it had to be different. It was almost entirely virtual, and even they had to adjust themselves to remain relevant during this period. And I decided, you know what, I cannot let August 1st pass without me adding something. And this is the first time I've ever done a release on August 1st, and it was an entirely digital release. There was no big launch party or anything like that, but the value of it is because I wanted to send a message to the African community in Guyana, primarily, and also to the people across the region from the diaspora. And I wanted them to understand that they needed to continue working hard, they needed to continue to push and believe in themselves, even though you might be in the midst of your enemies or whatever, work together to make something happen. And I decided August 1st was the best period for me to get that one done.
I know we're jumping back and forth and stuff, but
well, it's your gaff, you gotta leave the gaff.
But I mean, you mentioned it slightly and then shift off. You mentioned that the first vision was a boy. And then you just switch over. How come? Why not the boy? Or
I think that there are a couple of things, and I think that Dex, when he was looking at creating that video, he decided that, you know what, we could kind of create images for people to aspire to, you know, and we decided to focus on a young lady that would be able to tell a story and to create the image that other young ladies might be able to aspire to, because it's a very symbolic thing. So even though they were there, like we're kind of tackling a couple different issues there, and we wanted to show people that all you need to do is to work hard, if you're skilled, regardless if you don't have any skill, like you saw, she didn't really start off with a lot of natural gifting and natural skills. She had to work towards it, and we wanted to show, you know, that it was possible, regardless of if you are a male or a female. It's possible for you to work hard and to put your all into it, and to still grow and develop. And that's why you saw we did that shift from the male to the female perspective in this video.
So after now shifting to the male to the female now, like the whole team, how we can see there are partial males and partial females. So again, the scene where she's now looking at the girls.
Yeah, where Zoe is looking at the other dancers.
The other dancers.
So I'm listening.
So I just want to know, like, what's the relevance in?
So that is showing you that once you're developing, you can't only develop by yourself. You have to kind of work along with an authoritative figure who understands, who's on another level, at a higher level, and there are people like that who are willing to pull you up and to help you to advance your skill level once you submit to their training. And even in that video, when you saw she reached her breaking point while she was practicing, and her leader, Zoe, and all of the other dancers came around her and helped her up, because it kind of highlights the point that we mentioned earlier about the value of community and the value of leaders and all of that. And they don't only have to be male leaders, you know, they could be female leaders too. And it's about understanding that everyone has value inside of them, and the crab in the barrel mentality will not bring development to us all. For us to rise together, or for us to elevate as a nation or as a people or as a region, we have to help each other. You know, hand wash hand make hand come clean. You know, before that. Hand wash hand make hand come clean. And that just means, you know, hand washing hands make hands clean.
Coronavirus pun.
Yeah, exactly. The coronavirus. Hand wash hand make hand. You see them old people had some ideas, you know. Them old people predict this corona thing back in the day. And they said someday they can need this one. Hand wash hand. Make hand wash. Hand wash hand. Hand wash hand make hand come clean. Yeah. Good. So that was the one.
So I mean, you talk about the fashion aspect. So you're still trending on this fashion?
I'm looking at different ways to reinvent. I think that 2020 overall was a successful year for the MA brand and the music and everything like that. And I think that that's something that we're going to be working on developing and capitalizing a little bit more in the near future. So again, we're going up back and forth with that stuff. Emancipation, what does that mean to you? Emancipation is about freedom, you know, not only physical freedom but mental freedom. Emancipation is a very dynamic and disruptive idea. You know, it's about breaking the chains. It's about thinking and elevating your thinking to another level where you're able to think without constraints. You know, you're able to see the world differently because you decide how your ideas are going to be framed.
And would you say that you see that through your music?
Yeah, through my music, I believe that it also speaks towards the audacity of emancipation. I think that's clear through the different songs, whether it's through the style of music that we're using, whether it's through the symbolism, whether it's through us fighting the norms of, you know, being competitive against each other to being collaborative with each other. We want to break down those barriers and to make not only the MA brand grow, but we want to make the entire Caribbean culture vibe grow, the entire Guyanese culture vibe grow, because it's not only about me, it's about the creatives across the region and across Guyana.
So this means therefore you linked with a lot of persons?
Yeah, man. As we highlighted, the team is a pretty big team. But even apart from that team, we're also dealing with a lot of other young people. And for example, if you check us out on YouTube, you'll see that I've done a collaborative effort with a couple of artists, including Shemar. He calls himself Guy Beach. That's his artist name. And we also have Millennial King, Aubrey Sultan. We have Shemar. Not Shemar, we have Shaquille. And he's church boy Shaq. Well, he was church. He went through a whole branding process, now it's done. So it's important for you to work along with different artists and stuff. And
So moving forward right now.
Moving forward
right now. What's the vision you have right now in terms of moving forward?
My vision is to increase collaboration. I want to see Guyana. I want to be a part of the rebranding of Guyana. That's the kind of vision I have.
And that'll be for the creatives.
Yeah, for not only the creatives, for us as a people. So Jamaica has established a tremendous model using reggae music and using their own academic prowess and everything. They've been able to establish themselves on the international scene. The same thing with Trinidad, but they use soca music. And with their soca music, you have people like Marshall, a ton of other people.
Yeah.
And they've done an amazing job at highlighting the value of their music and their people, so you have a kind of vibe with them. And part of Guyana's going through an economic revolution right now.
True.
And I think it's important for us to understand that as a Guyanese people, we need to create a brand or to recreate a brand. Across the world, many of us are viewed as hardworking, but I think that we need to push that to the next level. And I think that I have some role to play in that process.
Okay, so let's hit back at the lyrics once again.
Sure.
Because, I mean, within the lyrics,
Yeah.
you're not just hearing another lyric. It's like you have a certain vibes with it. So let me talk much more about how the lyrics constructed it as such.
Alright.
Because I'm hearing Pondi.
I get where you're coming from, alright.
It's not the usual English.
Yeah. So it's about culture, it's about like even during this conversation that we're having, you've heard me break away from standard English into Creolese, you know? So what was the piece again? And you made some open heaven to me, Lord, Father. So instead of father, I say father. Yeah. Instead of father, you say father. You know, Ghana? Father. There's your father, there's your mother. So Father rescue me, yeah. And that's over and over, my cup run it over. Instead of my cup, my cup, you know? My cup run it over in the midst of my enemies and that kind of thing. So it's about merging our own version of Creolese into it. Every country has the different accent or the different vibe, and I really wanted to show that in order to tell a message, you don't have to hide or change the way that you speak, your intonations or all of that. For you to communicate, you could communicate without having to change who you are. And that even extends to the kind of words that you use and the kind of references that you make. Even when I highlighted hand wash hand, make hand come clean. That's a part of our dialect in Guyana. And I wanted to show that, you know, there's still value in retaining those sort of cultural elements. Yeah, keep it there. You don't have to change your culture to remain relevant, you know? In aspects like this, you don't have to change what makes you special, what makes you a little different to be relevant, you know?
Okay. So, I mean, one hand wash hand.
Hand wash hand. Make hand come clean.
Make hand come clean. But I mean, as in terms of keeping it home, you've been able now to impact a lot of people.
Yeah, I think we've reached a couple.
So what was the response behind hearing those lyrics where it was easy to connect?
I think that, definitely with these songs we've been able to connect more because we're not trying to fake who we are. We're not trying to bend the knee or anything like that. It's all about being natural, it's about being respectful, and it's about telling a story that our people can resonate with, that resonate with our people.
Okay.
And thousands of people have really shown their appreciation, and hopefully in a couple of years we could hit millions of people, and we could see whether they'll appreciate it or not.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot we've been talking about.
Yeah.
So, but what was the mindset behind this whole vision?
So, the mindset that we had to keep in order to ensure that this happened is called like a growth mindset. Like a growth mindset is focused on, it's not about how much talent or how much skill we have right now. It's about having the ability to always improve and to always be better. And that's something that we've really shown over this year, especially while everything was moving counterclockwise. There were a lot of barriers put up. Like we were able to see the MA brand really grow and develop in this period. And that was because we said, while everybody else was saying, you know, don't produce music right now, let's wait until things start back normal. Let's wait until everything come back to normal. What I decided to do is, you know what? Let's see how far we can push it during this period. Alright, big shout out to Catapult, the American Friends of Jamaica, Kingston Creative, and Fresh Milk Barbados for making this a reality.